Great. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming on this fine Saturday morning. I think there may be time afterwards to hit a garage sale or two in the neighborhood. But it's exciting for us to have you here. There's a great group of both building scientists and clients and contractors, architects, etc. And we have a very distinguished group of guests, some that have come from some ways. First, we have U.S. Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren has joined us here. This is her turf. State Assemblyman Jim Bell next to her. Okay, and Councilman Pierluigi Oliverio here, also the turf. So congratulations, this home is on your turf, and we're happy about that. Also joining us here, Adam Gottlieb from the California Energy Commission. And you're from Washington, D.C.?
Golden, Colorado.
Golden, Colorado, and Stillwell. From the National Renewable Energy Labs of the U.S. Department of Energy, Mike Guestwick. And on the end there, Mike Kernagis from the Passive House Institute U.S., co-founder of the Passive House Institute U.S. Mike came in. Thank you very much for being here. And there's lots of technical information about the house inside. There's placards and videos and whatnot. So I'm not going to spend too much time going into technical details about the house. I really want to help just to celebrate the milestone of building the first certified net zero energy home in California, and hopefully try to start telling the story. We had some great news coverage yesterday. Channel 5 was here. Hopefully there'll be some other press that picks up this milestone that hopefully moves us forward into building much better, higher performance buildings. So I'll try to keep the story short, but I thought you'd like to have a little background of why this building and how this building came into being. There are a lot of green things about the house. It's a certified LEED Platinum. There's a gray water system. You can see the tank over there. Lots of recycled parts. These are from the old Del Monte cannery. So these are recycled timbers. Okay, so there's a piece of San Jose that's from the past, and of course it's certainly the future, since it involves net zero energy building technology. But the most important thing is how did we get here, and how did the story of how this came into being. You may have seen the video, me with a hairdryer. Okay, this is now perhaps maybe come to be known as the hairdryer house. And this is part of the story that I want to talk about, because the house behind me, which is, you've all wandered through now, actually, it's I think quite a lovely, large, fine custom home. It's 3,200 square feet, and it's actually so efficient that it can be heated with a hairdryer. Pretty amazing. This was a symbol for me that was part of my journey, and that journey doesn't start with a hairdryer. It actually starts, I'll come back to the hairdryer, it starts with learning about the concept of a net zero energy home, which is really simple. And that's building a building that produces as much energy as it consumes. Okay, and I thought, well, what a marvelous, simple, elegant concept. And in fact, through State Assembly Bill 32, which more commonly known as the Global Warming Solutions Act of 2006, I believe, that Governor Schwarzenegger signed into law, it's actually mandated that by 2020, I think the date is, all residential new construction will be net zero energy. So we've got a lot of work to do. we have a lot of work to do to get there, but so I guess the great news is that this is number one, and we'll keep working at it. But that's how my journey started. Is in 2008 it was. I took a seminar at a PG&E location. So part of what I want to do today is thank and acknowledge the support I've received from the public sector, if you will. So the California Public Utilities Commission, and PG&E organizes this, has a series of training classes about energy efficiency topics. of all sorts, including very technical applied engineering on how to accomplish energy efficiency measures, okay? And this is just a phenomenal resource, and I use it extensively. I went to dozens of these classes, and it helped me to find out how to actually accomplish this. Because trust me, when I started out with the idea in mind of building a net zero energy home, I had absolutely no idea how I was going to achieve it. So it was a long journey up a learning curve, and I needed resources to do that. So first of all, these PG&E classes were fantastic, and the ratepayers fund that. Second of all, I became involved with the United States Department of Energy's National Renewable Energy Lab Building America program because we submitted some designs, and they came back and said, this is really good, we're going to learn a lot from this. So their local partners, Davis Energy Group, Dave Springer and his great team of engineers have been amazing partners. And we've learned a tremendous amount through this program. Best practices on the website and white papers and you name it, as well as the consulting from the local engineering group. And again, there's no way that we could have achieved this without the support of that kind of research development and market transformation intelligence, if you will, to help propel us forward. And this home is being monitored. You'll see back in here the monitoring box here with the Davis logo on there. Well, there's all sorts of data sensors, and the performance of the home is being monitored, and we're already learning from it. And we're already finding out how efficient it is. So to give you some idea, I held up the hairdryer. If we want to talk numbers, the data so far, which is over 4 months of data, shows us that the total cost of ventilating, heating, and cooling this home is about 63 cents a day. Great big luxury home like that, 63 cents a day. So the next time you buy a cappuccino at Starbucks for $4, okay, know that that's about a week's worth of heating and cooling of a fine luxury home. So amazing, amazing performance that's achievable. And the first question is, okay, well, how much does it cost? Okay, so the incremental cost, we figure in today's world is about 10 to 15% of additional upfront capital, okay? No energy bills. A lot of that money is being recovered through reduction in energy bills, and I think the balance of it is being recovered in an amazing increment in the durability and quality of the living experience inside the home. The air quality is phenomenal. Nice even temperatures between 70 and 75 degrees all the time. It's just amazing. My family and I have had the privilege to live here for a few months now, and it's just a marvelous experience to be able to live in a building that has this type of comfort and quality. The difference in temperature, some of the data that we're getting back, the difference in temperature between the ground floor and the second floor average is about 1/2 of 1 degree. And a maximum that we've seen of about 2. So again, it's a level of comfort that's just unprecedented in certainly an American home building at this point. So to continue my journey, I learned a lot. I partnered with the public sector, great public sector organization that helped get up the learning curve. And another organization that's non-governmental is the Passive House, 2 Passive House organizations. One at the national level that Mike helped co-found, the Passive House Institute US. And then at the local level, a local group started several years called Passive House California. So I joined that as part of my journey. Passive House was the next part of that, and that's really where the hairdryer came from. Okay, and this is an interesting story. I learned about it in 2008 as I was starting to do this home, and I said, this is a great technology, and we started building to this sort of enhanced standard. Same building science coming out of the Building America program that we in the Department of Energy, just probably taken to the next level in terms of performance. So this group, local group, national group, I went to conferences, we went to local sessions, and there are builders, there are several members here, and we shared information about what we're doing and not doing, what's working, what's not working. And this is a marvelous part. We're here in Silicon Valley, And this spirit of sharing and entrepreneurship is just amazing, and what we can accomplish. And that certainly was a case here. And we speak extensively. We've had student groups here that come, and of course they get it right away. Says, oh, well, why aren't we, well, what's the big deal? Aren't we building that way anyway? Groups from the San Jose State University, et cetera. And so it's a delight to see that. So lots of help from these various organizations. And this technology of Passive House has become a certified passive house. Again, I was explaining to Congresswoman Lofgren briefly inside, is the journey is quite interesting. The sad thing is that actually we knew how to do this 30 years ago. Here's a book called The Super Insulated Home Book, published in the mid-1980s. Okay, so in the 60s, they started experimenting. In the 70s, they figured out how to do it and built lots of these homes. In the mid-80s, they published the book. Our energy strategy, unfortunately, was really all about cheap oil and gas, though, unfortunately, the solar panels were removed in the late 80s from the White House, the Department of Energy that had started by President Carter that was doing lots of work on this kind of thing was actually sort of gutted, and the technology went onto the shelf. Okay? The good news is that it actually went across the pond to Europe. Okay? Dr. Feist and Dr. Adamson, some physicists in the Europe, in response to growing or increasingly more stringent building standards and energy standards in Europe, said, well, this technology is too good to be not to use. What they do in America with it, that's their business, but we're going to take it. So the last 25 years, the technology of the super insulated building, okay, has been being developed in Europe. It's been called Passive House because it's centered in Germany. And in 2004, Katrin Klingenberg and Mike Kernagis built the first passive house in America, repatriating the technology back to the United States, okay? And then subsequently started the Passive House Institute US, spawned lots of local groups, and lo and behold, it's taken off again, and here's an example of it right here. Let's hope that this time there's more momentum behind this technology and that we build more and more of these great high-performance buildings. So interesting. Hopefully in America we can accept that the second time and run with it. So the journey for me, again, has been a marvelous one. I've learned more in the last 4 years, I think, than I probably had in the previous 30. It's been very exciting and very gratifying to see the numbers in the end, to really understand that we do, in fact, have achieved it. In fact, we're so certain of the performance, having seen the numbers now, that this home will be sold soon, and we're guaranteeing zero energy performance. So we will guarantee that this home will produce more energy than it uses. So we're that confident as we've seen the numbers.